What's going on YouTube? Today I'm be showing you how to take both wheels off and on a Honda 2005 Honda VTX1300, and I'll show you how to do that. Let's get started by showing you the bike. Now this is a drive shaft driven bike, so you don't have to worry about a chain or belt driven. So let's get into it. All right. Alright guys, first thing we're going to do is crack the caliper loose. You need a 12mm and a 14mm. It's two different sizes. I'm taking the saddlebag off. You really only have to take the one side off on the right side. So let's take this apart. Pull that out. Just going to leave that up there for now. There's a bolt. Let's see if you can see it. There's a bolt right here. It's a 14mm. I'm going to use my ratcheting wrench to get to. See if it's easier for me to go from underneath. Now this one, I don't remember if it'll come out. It's a pin that goes through this caliper bracket, but it's threaded in the swing arm. Sometimes, depending on the exhaust, you're able to pull the pin all the way out, but if not, you can slide it back far enough so that at least come out of this. If that makes any sense. Get my ratchet up to get the wrench out the way. Okay. Oop. See what I'm saying? This pin part goes inside here, and this threads into the swing arm. Now next, we're gonna do the nut here. The axle nut. On the other end of the axle, there's an Allen spot. It's an 8mm. I'm gonna use a crescent wrench on here. So if that axle starts to spin, you put an 8mm on the other end of the axle to keep it from spinning. Go. Got the axle pushed in a little bit. Here's our nut. Sometimes you can't get through, but I put a rag right here or something and kind of just tap, get a punch or something, tap on the axle and knock it out. What I did is I used my electric ratchet and kind of pulled on it as it pulled it out. Got it partially out. Let's pull our axle out. Now we're going to start taking stuff off. Brakes, let's open them up. What I like to do is swing the back side out. Alright. Set that off to the side for now. Take our part of the brakes. I'll show you that later. Take this part. Set it off to the side, spacer in the wheel. I'm going to lift the bike up some, get the wheel off the ground, and pop the wheel off the drive hub. There you go. I'll relocate you. Get it high enough. What you do is kind of pull out the bottom, swing it out. The customer's changing these tires because I don't know if you can see all that cracking. It's starting to dry rot. I'm sure the date code on this thing's on the old side. We have 2009, so 11 years old. It's time to change it. I was going to do the front. Grab my 22mm socket. We're going to take this bolt off. On both forks, there's 2 pinch bolts. And we're going to loosen those up. You don't have to take them out. Make sure your Allen bit is seated all the way inside. And I believe these are 12mm. This one's only got 1 caliper, so. Sometimes they like to drop and swing. Don't want it to hit the fender here. This one looks like we're going to have to drop the wheel in order to get it out. Back you up. What I'm do is put this bolt back in, put a few threads, tap. See if we can't grab the axle. Lift up on the wheel to get the weight off the axle a little bit. Slide it out. Do is slide forward, take the caliper off. We got spacers on both sides. Let's see if we can get this out. We're going to raise it up a little bit. Alright, we'll come back and show you how to put everything back together. Alright, we're going to put the wheels back on. First thing you want to do, anytime you get your wheels back from the shop, before you leave the shop, make sure your wheels and tires are going the correct direction. On Michelin's, a lot of them, they have the an arrow on the right here on the edge of the tread. This one also has one on the sidewall. And this bike has 1 rotor, so it's easy to know which way we're going. If you got 2 rotors and you don't have an arrow or anywhere, you want to make it easy, just draw an arrow on the rotor. Very easy. So, alright, let's put her back in. Slide this in. Alright. Put my spacers back in. Okay. Now this one was kind of tricky because check my brake pads. Yeah, they're good. Kind of got to get the caliper started on the rotor like that. Then I got my axle on the other side. I'm going to see if I can do it without knocking these spacers out. Here we go. Ah, damn it, I dropped one. Well, oh, look at that, I can get it in. I didn't like that sound. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. There we go. There we go. Got our axle in. There are caliper bolts. Try to get them started. Start these by hand. Anytime you're putting hardware in, you want to try to start it by hand as best as possible. Especially if you're going to go use a power tool, caliper bolt. Tighten our axle bolt. Now if your axle's spinning, you're going to need a front axle tool to hold the other side. But luckily, it's not doing that for me. Now we're going to do our pinch bolts, or clamp bolts for the axle. You want to do the outside, inside, and then come back to the outside when you do your torque. Alright? Again, make sure your Allen wrench or whatever is seated all the way. So we're going to spin the wheel, spins good. Pump our brakes up. There we go. Let's go to the rear. Now we're going to put our wheel in. Again, check your rotation. The rear should be easy, your drive side, your brake side. So what I like to do is put the bike in gear. And this way, because if these splines don't line up and you're trying to turn it and trying to line the splines up, it'll actually turn the drive hub and you won't ever line them up. So if you lock up if that hub doesn't turn, then this will be able to turn, then fall in place. Get our wheel in there. Alright. Lower the bike some. Go slow and move the wheel around so that if it catches anything, you'll notice it. That should be good. I usually put my feet underneath it. Use my feet to hold it up. And work it around until you feel it start to pop in. There it goes. You'll feel it. You'll feel like a small drop, and then it kind of holds it almost center, and then as you work it around and twist it, you'll feel it whoop, right in. So lower the bike back down some more. Oh. Kind of put our brakes back on. Well, first, take our wheel spacer, pop that in. And we're going to take this. There's a little hose guy you got to slide down. Slide it down. Get it over the caliper. Sorry guys. Got it there. Then there's a little piece that fell earlier. There's this little thin clip. You'll see that there's a ledge right here, a flat spot, and then this thing has a flat spot. Slide down. Should be the little tabs that kind of hold it on, and then these parts, this bottom edge right here needs to be on this. So what I like to do is swing the back end out, slide the caliper over, then swing that one back around. There we go. Make sure it's up all the way. Check, make sure pads are in the right spot. Then we're gonna start our pin. Now be careful with this. With these, you definitely want to start these ones by hand, because you could cross thread them. This caliper, you know, it could be cause the bolt to go in crooked. I'm gonna take this pin here, fish it down, try to get it started. You should feel what that goes. It popped in. I'm going to slide my axle in. This is pretty straightforward. Just slide your axle in. Look at that. Easy peasy. I'm Grab my 12 and my 14 millimeter. I highly suggest the ratcheting wrench for this bolt down here. Make sure you go the correct way. Take our axle nut, put it on. And my crescent wrench and my 8 millimeter Allen. Pump our brakes up. Spin the wheel. Alright, we're good to go. There you go, guys. Honda VTX1300, both wheels. I showed you how to take them off, put them on. Not too hard. Very easy, especially with the shaft driven, dry shaft, whatever you want to call it. Makes those people seem to think that's hard, but it's really actually makes it easier. It's one less thing you got to dick with the chain and the belts. So, other than that, saddlebag. You gotta take it off sometimes. You just gotta maybe take the one off if you got it. But anyways, if you like what you see, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe down below if you think I could do it better. Just be gentle. And make sure you subscribe for more. And my trip's coming up here soon. So I'll see you guys. Adios.